tweaks, gentle breeze, you remind me of days in my childhood.
Tonight, emerging details shed new light on how vocalist Lucy Thomas approaches one of the most decisive elements of any major performance, the song she brings to the stage. In recent years, Lucy Thomas has become a recognizable name thanks to her distinctive tone, strong control, and polished delivery. Yet behind the applause and studio lights lies a methodical process that rarely reaches public view. While audiences often assume that singers simply choose a personal favorite or select a trending track, new insights indicate that Thomas follows a far more strategic system, one influenced by vocal science, audience behavior, production demands, and timing. As reporters have examined her public interviews, performance choices, and statements from industry professionals familiar with large-scale entertainment programming, a pattern begins to emerge. It suggests that her song selections for major platforms, such as televised talent stages, charity galas, or national broadcast events, are shaped by considerations much broader than artistic taste alone. This report aims to clarify what factors weigh most heavily, how those decisions evolve under tight performance schedules, and what challenges come with performing for expansive and diverse audiences. According to those who have observed the selection process, each choice is a balancing act between artistic identity and broader public expectations. As we continue through this report, a clearer picture develops, one that reveals not only the meticulous preparation, but also the pressure surrounding every significant performance opportunity. Sources close to major production teams emphasize that Lucy Thomas's background plays a larger role in her song decisions than many viewers might expect. Lucy Thomas, originating from Wigan in Lancashire, first gained notable visibility as a young vocalist with a training foundation rooted in classical and musical theater techniques. As her profile expanded, so did the expectations placed upon her during high-visibility performances. For artists appearing on what are often referred to as big stages, the margin for error narrows considerably. These environments involve live broadcasts, heightened scrutiny, and moments where even minor missteps can affect both public reception and career momentum. Observers note that Thomas approaches these opportunities with the understanding that song choice can determine the entire trajectory of a performance. When preparing for events mirrored after well-known talent show formats, she faces variables such as nationwide viewer diversity, strict time limits, and the need to stand out without compromising vocal health. Industry analysts report that these environments demand not only technical precision, but also strategic planning, as the chosen song must showcase her strengths while maintaining accessibility for broad audiences. The stakes extend beyond immediate applause. A single song selection can influence future bookings, streaming interest, and public perception. This backdrop explains why Thomas's approach appears deliberate, data-aware, and grounded in both her personal history and the high standards associated with large-scale entertainment productions. Investigators reviewing patterns in Lucy Thomas's past performances note a recurring framework. Her selection process follows a consistent set of criteria rarely discussed publicly. Analysis of her interviews and repertoire choices reveals several key filters that guide her decisions. At the forefront is vocal compatibility. Reporters have observed that Thomas gravitates toward compositions that align with her upper range clarity and ability to sustain controlled, expressive phrasing. Emotional alignment is another factor frequently mentioned. Sources familiar with rehearsal rooms report that she tends to prioritize pieces that reflect her interpretive strengths, often leaning toward songs that allow for narrative buildup and subtle dynamic contrast. Audience demographics also play a role, as data from similar broadcast events indicate that viewers respond most strongly to pieces with recognizable melodies or emotional accessibility. Production logistics cannot be overlooked. Large venues require songs that translate well through amplified sound systems, accommodate lighting cues, and fit within precise timing windows. According to content analysts, Thomas also considers whether a song feels overly common for big stage performances, preferring to avoid selections that risk blending into familiar performance patterns. These combined criteria form a structured, intentional method rather than spontaneous preference, a method that contributes to her consistency and broadcast-ready presence. As this pattern becomes more evident, it raises questions about how she manages to innovate within such defined parameters. Despite her careful process, evidence shows that Lucy Thomas occasionally makes bold song decisions that diverge from audience predictions. Reviewing public reaction trends, music journalists highlight instances where Thomas selected pieces outside the mainstream or chose arrangements associated with niche theatrical genres. These decisions often carry significant risk. Choosing a lesser-known composition may challenge viewer familiarity, while selecting a song deeply associated with iconic performers can draw direct comparison. However, observers report that these choices are sometimes made strategically to differentiate her performance from others in competitive or high-visibility environments. Industry commentators note that such moves can either elevate her public profile or introduce moments of tension, as risk does not always guarantee impact. When these selections succeed, reporters note that they tend to create heightened interest and increased shareability across social platforms. When the risk appears less effective, the response may be more muted, though rarely harmful. What becomes clear through these documented examples is that Thomas's process includes room for calculated experimentation, a willingness to step beyond safe boundaries in situations where a more unique artistic statement may help her stand out. This willingness to take measured risks adds dimension to her otherwise structured selection framework, reinforcing the complexity of each major stage decision she makes. Behind the scenes, production staff report that logistical limitations often dictate which songs ultimately make Lucy Thomas's final list. Large performance environments come with strict technical requirements that directly influence song viability. These include the availability of licensed accompaniment, compatibility with in-house sound systems, and the need for arrangements that can be adapted quickly during rehearsals. Reporters covering entertainment production note that songs involving intricate orchestration may be impractical due to limited setup time, while others may require key adjustments that could affect overall tonal quality. Camera direction, lighting sequences, and staging also impose constraints. Songs that rely on extended intros or subtle instrumentals may not align with the fast-paced structure of televised segments. Sources familiar with production workflows state that Thomas often collaborates with music directors and technical teams to ensure that the chosen piece fits within these boundaries without compromising artistic integrity. In some cases, songs that initially appear promising are removed from consideration due to timing conflicts or arrangement limitations. This layer of behind-the-scenes planning underscores the complexity of preparing for a large broadcast performance. It also highlights how factors unrelated to vocal ability, such as licensing windows or available instrumentation, significantly shape her final decisions. Media analysts observing audience engagement trends argue that emotional storytelling is one of Lucy Thomas's most defining tools. Reports suggest that Thomas approaches each performance with a narrative objective in mind. Rather than simply showcasing vocal technique, she appears to select songs that allow her to convey a clear emotional arc, an approach that aligns with broader trends within televised music programming. Analysts studying viewer retention note that audiences respond strongly to performances that communicate relatable themes, whether they involve perseverance, aspiration, or reflection. To achieve this, Thomas sometimes adjusts arrangements, modifies packing, or introduces subtle phrasing shifts that enhance the emotional tone without altering the core composition. Broadcast studies indicate that these decisions contribute to higher viewer engagement, particularly when the performance aligns with the event's atmosphere or messaging. This emphasis on storytelling also helps bridge the gap between live audience and at-home viewers, ensuring that the performance resonates across multiple formats. By prioritizing narrative connection, Thomas strengthens the impact of her song choices, reinforcing the idea that each selection serves both artistic and communicative purposes within the broader performance environment. Recent commentary circulating in media circles points to ongoing discussions about what Lucy Thomas deliberately avoids when preparing for major performances. While Thomas maintains a clean public image and avoids unnecessary controversy, analysts tracking fan discussions note recurring debates about her tendency to steer away from certain song categories. Reports indicate that she often avoids pieces with overly complex licensing requirements, songs strongly tied to trending viral moments, or tracks known for heavy stylistic comparison with globally recognized vocalists. These choices appear designed to prevent distractions that could overshadow the performance itself. Additionally, production observers note that she tends to bypass songs that may strain vocal endurance during consecutive appearances, suggesting an emphasis on long-term vocal care. Online communities have also speculated about songs she nearly selected for past events, but ultimately declined due to logistical or stylistic concerns. While these discussions vary in accuracy, the consistent theme across credible reporting is her cautious approach to anything that might introduce unnecessary risk. By filtering out these categories early, Thomas narrows her focus to selections that best support both artistic clarity and broadcast compatibility, further emphasizing the strategic nature of her preparation. As this report concludes, analysts agree on one central finding: Lucy Thomas's song choices are far from spontaneous. The review of her background, planning methods, technical considerations, and audience-focused decisions reveals a performer who approaches big stage opportunities with a comprehensive, disciplined strategy. From vocal compatibility to production logistics, each element carries weight in determining whether a song reaches the final performance lineup. Observers note that her process reflects both respect for the audience and awareness of the unique demands associated with high-stakes entertainment platforms. While viewers may see only the finished performance, the evidence shows that these moments are the result of calculated planning supported by teams of professionals and guided by Thomas's own commitment to precision. Her approach demonstrates how much effort goes into even a single performance choice, effort that often remains invisible to the public eye. As broadcast events continue to evolve, industry analysts suggest that her method offers a clear example of how preparation and adaptability shape successful careers in modern performance environments. The next time audiences watch her step onto a major stage, they may find themselves considering not just the voice, but the extensive process behind the song chosen for that moment.